welcome to 2023. Hi. This is my first live for the year, and decided that I would start out with kind of talking about maybe goals and kind of things you want to think about going forward for the year. I know, so many of us kind of have things, maybe resolutions or kind of things, and I want you to think about kind of how you want to start your year, and really think ahead, where you want to be by the end of 2023, and maybe that's personally or professionally or with your finances or all kinds of areas that you could look at to think about where you want to be for the year. I know I got a new planner as a gift for Christmas that looks at kind of different things to think about, kind of yearly goals to think about. So in here there's 3 yearly goals, and then each month I have a place to put down kind of monthly kind of motivation things or important goals that I want to achieve in the month. So you want to think about kind of month to month what you want to achieve. So things like self-care, family relationships, work and business, finances, maybe home improvements or other small things that you want to do to improve yourself, or read so many books in a month or in the year, or look at new podcasts, kind of new things to try, maybe starting a new hobby. I saw somebody's talking about in the group about starting a new hobby and learning how to crochet, and those kinds of things that you want to think about, and not do it all like I'm going to lose so much weight this year, or change completely how I'm eating, or those kinds of things. You want to think of kind of more holistic, kind of where you want to be for yourself, and not just kind of body goals. And you want to think about kind of what are your values, what are the things that are really important to you, and if somebody needs some help with that, I have kind of a list that I could give you that has, like almost 100 things on the list that you can think about what your values are, kind of what your core values are, and what you want to focus on for the year. So if anybody, wants that list, just let me know and I can send it to you. And maybe think about things like patience or empowerment or understanding, or things like joy, happiness, productivity. Those are just a few of the things that are on this list. So, you may think about those other things besides just losing weight or changing what you're eating, or because so much of kind of media focus is on how much weight you're going to lose this year, or changing what you're eating, or those kinds of things. And I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't do that if that's one of your core things that you want to work on, but I think we can be kind of broader and look at things that more holistic about all the things in our lives that we want to be able to do for the year, and what that means for you. And one of the goals that I have been doing for the last several months, not just the beginning of this year, but for the last several months, looking at having more spaciousness or more time and freedom in my schedule and in my life. So looking at things like when you first get out of bed, what's something that you want to be able to have kind of time for the day, and when can you take a moment maybe to just be quiet and do nothing, even if it's just for a minute at a time. So this idea of having kind of a 1-minute pause where you pause pause for a moment and, kind of just think about gratitude for your day, or gratitude for what you're doing for yourself for that day, or looking at maybe things that are important to you and what you want to focus on for the day, and how you can incorporate that in your day every single day. So maybe when you first get up out of bed, have to do this kind of pause thing, or maybe in the middle of the day, when you sit down for lunch, you just take a moment. I know some of us, or some of you all, have little kids, and it's hard to do that, in the middle of the day, or maybe when you're ready to go to bed at night, you think about, what you accomplished for the day, and not necessarily specific things, but just be open to the things that you did accomplish for that day, and be thankful that, you were able to do the things that you could do for that day. Say, maybe you were able to get your dishes washed for that day, and you don't necessarily, are not able to do that every day, or your kids, got a bath for that day, or you planned your meals for that day, and you were able to accomplish that in that day. So just little things that you can be grateful for, or kind of pat yourself on the back for, because so many times as women and moms, we just focus so much on what we do for other people, and not focus as much on, what it is that we enjoy, or what we like to do, or kind of what's important to us, and those kinds of things. You want to think about, what is it that you want to do for yourself for this coming year? And maybe as you look at something that maybe what you're not aware of, or how you want to kind of get into what your soul needs, what your own heart needs, those kinds of things. So you want to, I have a few questions that you can ask yourself and maybe journal about, and figure out what it is that you want. So one of them is, are you happy most of the time? If you feel like you're not happy most of the time, what is it that would make you happy? Think about those kinds of things. What is it that you want that would make you happy? And how can you incorporate that more into your life? And then the other thing is, how often do you feel lighthearted, where you kind of don't feel this heaviness of things that you always have to do? How often do you feel that? And if you feel like you're overwhelmed, or have so many things on your plate that you have difficulty with having this kind of lighthearted feeling, then maybe looking at your schedule, or looking at your kids' schedule, or figuring out ways to reduce how much that you're doing, so that you can have that feeling more often. And then, are you excited about your future? What is it that makes you excited about your future? And when you think about, maybe a month from now, or a year from now, or even up to 5 years from now, what is it that makes you excited about how things are going? And if they're not going the way you want them, how can you change the things that are happening so that you are excited about the future and what things will happen? And do you feel deeply loved? Do you have someone in your life, or can you love yourself? Those are things that we can think about, how you can have that self-love, so that you take care of yourself, and not be so focused on, all the other people that you have to take care of, or other responsibilities that you have. Maybe, a mom or wife, or for me, I'm a nurse. We just all kind of are caregivers, and feeling out how to take care of yourself and love yourself, and understand that taking care of yourself is partly a self-love practice. And then when you the last thing, when was the last time you felt carefree, where you kind of didn't have a lot of responsibilities and you just were able to enjoy the moment and those kinds of things? And that's how you can get into this 1 minute pause, where you think about, in this time, kind of let go, unwind just for that moment, kind of take some deep breaths, kind of get out of that frazzled, kind of rushed, busy day feeling, where you have just a moment to pause, and you can do lots of things in that minute. You can have a prayer, or just be silent, or find, kind of what you want in your heart, and enjoy a moment. Maybe you want to go outside and sit and enjoy the beauty around you. Those are all kinds of things that you can do over time to help kind of unwind and reduce your stress, and just figure out what it is that you want to do with the life that you've been given, and figuring out what's important to you, and just thinking about kind of what those values are that you really want to keep at the top of the list of things that you want to do, that you want to be able to focus on, and not have kind of this big overwhelming thing that's going on in life, but have, maybe 3 or 5 core value things that you really want to focus on. Things like spending time with family, or having, less social media time, or maybe put the phone away every night at 8 o'clock and you don't look at it or use it again. Or just maybe at meal times, everybody puts their kind of devices away and focus on being with the people that you're around, with your families, or your spouse, or significant other, or other people that are around when you're in that time. So when you think about having a pause, and being able to kind of unwind, get rid of that feeling of rushed or frazzled, there are things that you can do. So maybe when you first get to work, sit in your vehicle for just the 1 minute, and kind of think about what your day is going to be, and how you can take a pause and not have to be so stressed. Maybe set a timer on your phone to remind yourself about a time of day that you want to do this pause for just a minute, and maybe have a prayer that, I need more from you, Lord, and help to fill me with more of you, so that I can have a fuller, more enjoyable life. I think that so many times we're so rushed that we don't notice the beauty all around us, and we spend so much time inside, and not enough time out in the beauty of our environments. And maybe think about, as you're, driving down your road, look for a specific color of something. I know this time of year is kind of hard because everything is kind of gray and brown and that kind of thing, but maybe just look for a red barn, or something around that where I live. That's kind of the kind of things that I look for, is the color around in the area where I am. So maybe think about that when you're out and about driving around. Maybe notice the sunrise if you're out at that time of day, or notice the sunset and how beautiful the colors are from that time of day. Or first thing in the morning, sometimes I just go outside and just kind of look around and see the stars in the sky and that kind of thing. So those are kind of ways that you can kind of take a pause and just notice things around you, the beauty around you, and that will help to kind of reduce stress and kind of help your nervous system to kind of have less anxiety or other kind of feelings of just being overwhelmed with things going on. And I know it's hard to reduce your stress sometimes. And even if it's just for a minute, 1 minute a day, set a timer on your phone if you need to do that, to spend 1 minute a day just relaxing, taking some deep breaths, noticing the beauty around you, and finding time in your day to be able to do that. So, first off, maybe this week, think about what your core values are, and if you need help with that, or you want a list to look at to think about that, let me know. Just message me or put a comment below the video, and I'll send you a PDF with ideas of things that you can think about that's really important to you. And then maybe make a goal for the next month to write down kind of things that are important to you and what you want to accomplish for the next year. And, don't think about, I have to decide this week what it is that I want to accomplish for this year, for my life for this year. But, just kind of take some time and do some journaling and writing down different ideas of things that you would like to accomplish for this year, maybe professionally or with your family, something kind of maybe a vacation that you want to plan for that you have to save money for. And maybe you can't do that this year, but you can start planning for that for next year if it's kind of a big expensive thing that you want to do and you have to save money for that. So it's like those kinds of things that you want to plan for or think about. What is it that I want to do for this year for myself, for my family, maybe for your professional or your business or work, or, do you want to take an extra class to try to advance your profession, or maybe go back to school, or those kinds of things, and just decide what it is that's important to you, that you want to spend your time to do those things to accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish for this year. I still have openings for my coaching program, and that's exactly what my coaching program is about, is making the time to figure out what it is, the goals that you want to make, and how to accomplish those things. So if you need help with that, just message me and we can talk. And, even if all you want to do is talk about kind of what your goals are, and I can help you with making some headway towards that, you just want one kind of thing to talk about that, I can do that too. So anybody that would like to have more time, or just have ideas, or if you want that core value list, just message me and we can do anything that you want. And I will continue to talk about different things over the next 6 weeks, kind of slowing down, kind of getting to your life. And so for the next 6 weeks, we'll continue to talk about that. So, and if anybody has any ideas of what they would like to hear more about, or specific things that you would like me to talk about, just message me and I can always address whatever you guys are interested in. Okay, so I'll see you next week.